The new Apple OS X or OS X, if that's what you want to call it, those reviews are in, and they're mostly positive. So, is it worth it to upgrade to that new Apple operating system, and what does it mean possibly for Apple stock? With us now to talk about all things Apple OS X, Patriarch Equity CEO Eric Schiffer. Eric, thanks for joining us. Now, there are some new features being introduced with this Apple OS X update. What are some of the highlights, and what's your take on the responses so far?
Sure. Well, one of the, I think, highlights to me is the fact that these apps are finally getting updated. So the apps that you have on the system are updated. You have a split screen. So the functionality on the screen is much better. It's much more consistent with the way people work today. And so it will allow people to be a lot more productive. There's a new font that's on there, which is very nice, which I think people will like. Overall, it's a much better upgrade. And I would highly recommend it for people. It's free. It's something that they should absolutely do. What does it mean for Apple? That's the big question. I don't think it's going to mean a tremendous amount to Apple. I think it will just make sure that people don't switch, that they will stick with the systems.
All right, so it's interesting you bring all those points up, because there have been those out there who are making comparisons between this new Apple operating system and then Microsoft's new version, Windows 10, which has been considered by many to be Microsoft's best version of its operating system, Windows, yet. So what's that comparison like? Is it a fair one to make, and do you think it's valid?
Well, look, I think that Microsoft has done a tremendous job, a fantastic job of staying relevant. Their new operating system is really a step above. There's no question about it. But I don't think it matters. I think it's frankly not a fair comparison. Apple still has, for Apple users, the best user experience that exists, and for them to go to a Mac is very difficult. And so I don't think it really is a fair comparison. This is an upgrade that I think is a smart upgrade by Apple. It's consistent with the iOS in many ways, but you really can't compare Windows to Mac. They're completely separate worlds.
All right, so Eric, that's fair enough. So here's the question. The bottom line, should Mac users actually do this upgrade? And if they do and enough people get on board, is it going to have any kind of effect on Apple stock? Is it going to move the needle?
I think that they should do it. I think they should do it because it will create a better experience for them. They should absolutely do it. Will it move the Apple stock needle at all? No. I think that very little at all. I don't think it's going to be material at all to the price of Apple. But I do think it will help people to retain their Macs. It will make sure that they continue to enjoy the experience, which overall long term is good for Apple. But I don't think you're going to see it immediately in the stock price.
All right. So it sounds like what you're saying is that Apple users will continue to be users because of this new innovation, but it's not exactly going to drive hyper growth for Apple stock. Eric, thank you so much for your take. That's Eric Schiffer. He's the CEO of Patriarch Equity. And thanks for watching. I'm Dominic Chu. Have a great day.
Thanks, Dominic.
Hey YouTube fans, I'm Landon Dowdy from CNBC. Thanks so much for checking out our channel. Here you'll find videos packed with all the info that you need to be smarter about your finances. Be sure and subscribe by clicking right here, and click on all the videos around me to see CNBC's original series Young Money, Tech Bet, Cramer's Mad Money, and all the latest from CNBC.